What's going on, guys? I haven't made a video in forever. I've mostly just been going live, but I don't like doing that as much. This PS5 came in today for a cleaning. So this weird black substance on here, I still don't know what this is. I have seen this before. The guy doesn't smoke. All right. I've seen this before. I don't know what it is. It could have something to do with like a spray canister, like an air duster or something like that. It could be causing this. Not too sure. All I know is like the last time that I had one come in where I had like this weird like black soot on it, it was like unfixable basically. Like I tried everything I could to get it to stop overheating. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through this PS5. We're gonna open it up, check out the liquid metal and everything, make sure the liquid metal looks good. It's probably gonna look horrible if I had to guess. We're also gonna clean it out. It's not like too dusty, but that liquid metal causes so much of an issue. There's a power supply in there. So let's get soap. I already took the screws off of the back side there that I originally showed you. So now we're gonna take these ones. Oh, I also got a new, can you see that? I got a new drill. I love this one. My other one was a Makita, lasted forever, but the batteries died on it. And all the replacement batteries looked like trash. Well, I should say they all had terrible reviews. So I just bit the bullet and got a new one. And this thing is snappy, and I like it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish unscrewing this, and then I'll start to open it up. All right, so with the fan disconnected, we're gonna get a first look. Okay, it's not a first look. I already peeked inside of it, but I figured I'd just film this part. So it's not, honestly, it's not that bad. Like normally, yeah, I know you're seeing this and you're like, oh, it's pretty bad. Normally whenever I open these up, like these things will be completely packed full of crap, which maybe I'll edit this and show you a couple examples. If I don't, just forgive me for that. So, but now we're gonna go ahead and open up this side panel and see what we can see. All right, so it's really not like incredibly bad. I know that there's a lot of little like floaties and stuff in here. That's floaty. You got some stuff down here. So definitely, ooh, here we go. Those are some good ones right there, huh? Definitely some dust bunnies in here. Nothing too crazy yet so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up to this point and then start disassembling it some more. All right, so with a quick little brush and vacuum here, it already looks way better. It almost looks newer inside. I'm gonna go ahead and take off this panel here and get down to the board level, pop the board off, and we'll take a look at the APU and the heatsink here and see what's up with the liquid metal. It's kind of warm, huh? But yeah, we're gonna open this up and take a look. All right, we got the motherboard taken off here, so now this is the heatsink side. As you can see here, this like weird substance is inside of here again. I don't know what it is. If someone knows what it is, let me know. It's not smoke. I'm telling you right now, it's not smoke. Smoke is like a yellowish, like brown. But this comes like inside of the console like this. And I don't know how it gets inside of here. I don't know anything about this. But usually whenever I see these consoles come in, even if I try to fix the overheating issue, it doesn't usually work. However, I already told the customer that, so we're gonna go ahead and try it anyways and just hope that it works. Not hurts. Hopes that it works, because obviously it hurts less to pay a cleaning fee versus getting a new $500 system. So I'm gonna go ahead and extract all the liquid metal off of the heatsink side, clean under it and buff it out. All right, so I've gotten the liquid metal off, but you can see there's still this weird like stuff behind there. It's almost like gummy, right? So I've already used rubbing alcohol on it too. Now I'm gonna grab the dry side of the cotton swab and just push and scrub, and you'll see how it starts to turn weird like that. You just keep doing it until that's gone. This is the stuff that builds up on there that causes the liquid metal to not stick in place. So it's starting to get a little clean right here. Obviously it's a little hard to do when I'm videotaping it, but I'm gonna have to get a new Q-tip and rub it one more time with alcohol because it looks like it's still struggling to come up. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and then we'll try rubbing it again. All right, so I hit it again. I put a little bit more elbow grease in it, and it looks like I got a majority of it off. You'll still be able to see this. I'm gonna go over it lightly with a razor blade. I don't suggest anyone does this, but I usually go over it lightly with a razor blade to make sure that there's no surfaces that are raised. And that's just because it creates an even bigger issue down the road, or it'll actually just cause the same overheating issue to happen again. So usually how I determine if it needs to, if it's good or not, is like if you can see it at this angle, but can't see it at this angle, it's usually good. So it's probably good, but I'm just gonna run a razor blade over it anyways, just to be safe. All right, I know I said that it didn't need the razor blading, but it kind of did. So now it looks a lot better. We're gonna go ahead and take this cover off and clean under here. I expect that this is where a majority of the dust will be. All right, you guys gotta time me on this. I'm gonna see how fast I can take these screws off. Ready, go. Time. Let me know. Let me know what my time is. That was quick. You can't. Come on. That was quick. Come on. Oh, I forgot one. Oh no. Is this in the same time? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I forgot it. I said these ones. All right. Let me know the time for these ones, not for the full thing. You guys didn't tell me about that one, so. All right, let's check under this and see. It's like not bad at all. And this is exactly what I was talking about. So this console didn't look bad. I mean, like, that's the dust, you know? It's really not that bad. Like, some of these, I'll open it up and it's just completely caked in here. Like, you can't even see the heat sink at all. And even like this panel here, it almost looks fairly clean besides like just a little bit of dust. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all this cleaned up. This was definitely most of the cause of the issue, but again, like that weird black soot, not too sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up. Got it all vacuumed out now. Looks significantly better. Now there's gonna be complete airflow. There wasn't too much dust underneath the power supply itself either. There was like a lot gunked up here, which is kind of strange. Usually it all gunks up on the side here where that little vent is. But other than that, like I said, there's not too much dust in here, but the liquid metal was messed up. We're just hoping that that's what the majority of the issue is here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start reassembling it a little bit and show you what I do with the liquid metal. I did wipe off most of like the scorching stuff on here with an alcohol wipe. There is still like a little bit. I don't normally do this because it doesn't actually cause the system to overheat, yes or no. But I did do it in the fact that if it causes a problem again, I want to know that he didn't put anything inside of it and that it's doing this on its own. You see what I'm saying? Or either he did put something inside of it again and this is why it's happening. So I went ahead and cleaned most of that off so that I could see if that happens again. I'm gonna go ahead and swipe this up one more time, make sure it's nice and clean, and then we'll get the liquid metal placed back on it. And there's the liquid metal from the heatsink side, sitting there in a perfect little blob. I'm not gonna mix it around yet because I still need to take the liquid metal from this motherboard here, which obviously has the same issue there. It's completely bare in that one spot. So I need to take the liquid metal off of this and place it on the heatsink in the meantime, because I have to usually extract 2 or 3 times from this one to get all the liquid metal off of it. You can see that the APU has the same little gunky spot on it that the heatsink side had too. Because on the heatsink I had to use pretty good force with the cotton swab to get that off. I think what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to scrape it lightly with the razor blade to try to get it off first and then clean it. That worked way better. Look how reflective it is now. There is some permanent damage. You can't even see it. Look, you see my microscope? It's crazy. There is some permanent damage on it. What I'm guessing is probably pitting because I tried to go over it with the razor blade and you can feel it, but it's not coming off, which means that it's probably pitting instead of like a risen area, which is like those little like lines right there. But that's not going to cause an issue. Pitting isn't as bad as like when it's actually raised up. So now that the surface is nice and polished, we can go ahead and put the liquid metal back on. The liquid metal is sitting nicely both on the APU side and on the heatsink side. On the heatsink side, you can't even tell it's on there, really. It's almost like a perfect glass. So, yeah, now we're just gonna start assembling things back together. All right, we got the motherboard put on here, but you guys completely forgot to remind me about this screw here. So we gotta get that screw back in. What I'm gonna do now is I'm basically going to take these little pieces here, these thermal pads, and I'm gonna ball those up and place them back on these chips. Those are the only ones that I really need to do. All the other ones is just time wasted. It's not like we're refurbishing the console. We're stopping the issue from happening and cleaning it out is what we're doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and take those off, put those on there all balled up, and get that screw in there. This is what I meant by balling them back up and putting them on there. So as you can see, all those are on there, the screws in there as well, and they're all off of here. So now we're gonna go ahead and put this plate on here and get it all screwed back in. And we've got the internals basically all put back together. Now we can start putting on the side panel and the fan, but I need to clean those off first as they are dusty. And we'll get this all put back together and start it up. Alright, we got that all cleaned up and vacuumed off. So this is why you don't use air dusters. I made a video about this in the past, but I think I said compressed air on accident. I meant the air dusting cans. They spray out like a weird chemical in them that actually causes dust to stick more. So even though this is clean, that's still going to be there. If I had, 10,000 hours on a day, I'm pretty sure that I would go through each one of these and get them with a Q-tip and alcohol, but unfortunately I don't. So all I know is that this dust will not come off, so it's not a problem with overheating in this case. So I'm going to go ahead and get this reassembled back together here, and then I'm going to try to see what I can do about the panels. Functionality wise, this stuff doesn't matter, but I think I'm just going to give them a nice wipe down anyways. I've gotten all the screws installed on the console. This is the back side here, so there's only 2 screws here, but as we can see inside of here, absolutely dust free inside now. So hopefully this helps out with the console. I do believe, however, though, that this is from using a certain compressed air canister. Not compressed air, okay, but like one of the cans of like electronic cleaner, duster, whatever they're called. I'm pretty sure that's what this is. The only reason I say that is you can see it caked up here on this vent too. And this is after I was brushing it and vacuuming at the same time. It's still not coming off. So this definitely causes stuff to cake up. And I have a feeling that that's what's causing this. However, if this console comes back, I did clean off down there by the APU on the heatsink side. So now I'll know if it comes from there or if it's coming from an outside source into there. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wipe these down a little bit and then get this console installed. Alright, so with the consoles plugged up here, you can already see that he had changed the settings to do not put in rest mode, which means he probably looked up a YouTube video and they probably said, oh, just change these settings and that'll solve the issue. It doesn't. What I just did, the whole video I just showed you, actually solves the issue. However, putting your console in rest mode is going to end up killing it. So don't put your console in rest mode. Every time you walk away from it, you have to turn it off. That's the only option with PS5s. Some of them are good. Some of them are, you can leave them on for however long and they last forever. But I would say a majority of them, you cannot put them in rest mode. Well, I want to update it. You can't put it in rest mode. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to go ahead and call the customer, let them know his console's ready. I tried scrubbing that stuff off on the inside of those panels there, and it took forever. And it wasn't really coming off, so it's definitely like a thick, sticky substance. But like I said, that's not going to actually affect the console overheating or not. That's just some weird vapor thing that's stuck on there. But anyways, I had another console come in, so I have to work on that one now. But yep, so that's a cleaning for a PS5. Thanks for watching.